Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with another video. Hope everyone's well wherever you are, and as ever, I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet if I can. I normally do so, but I will try. I haven't got too many ideas for this one, so it probably will be quite short, but really I could only think of the title already. But I thought as February is, as Valentine's Day is in February, and it's like the month of love, as I mentioned in my last video, I'll talk about like how to get more people, as I talked before about how to get more people all around the world to get into football, to fall in love with football and that kind of thing. I thought I'd specifically for this one though focus on Italians, how to get Italians to fall in love with football again. For those who might have become disillusionized. I forgot to say in my last video that I wonder if things like tackling corruption in football and accentuating all the good things that can be done through football, like how to build bridges and things like that, and how football can be. I think I did kind of mention a little bit about how like football can be used for good, but I think tackling corruption could be a way to get people into football all around the world. But in this case, I hope to focus on Italian football generally, and possibly people in Glasgow for Celtic as well. But whilst I would love for people all around the world to get into football, I would definitely love for Italians specifically to get into football, I'd say. And one of the things I was thinking of is like companies and organisations building spaces and places for sport, in Italy's case, football specifically. And also, or you could put it the other way, like places and spaces for practicing and playing sport, and how Italians can bring pride into their football again. And build and try and build on those 4 World Cups that Italy's won, and that kind of thing. So I hope that Italians, I'd love to see Italians and hear about Italians practicing for at least an hour a day, and also football to be on the curriculum in Italy, and like for schools as well as parents, obviously teachers, schools themselves and that kind of thing, and parents encouraging, and just the wider society generally encouraging people to play football for at least an hour a day and practice their football, and also like coaches to come into Italy and coach obviously football and that kind of thing. So hopefully bringing in coaches. I was thinking like, what if former or even current players or footballers, as soon as they retire, because I suppose they wouldn't have a huge amount of time as footballers, but maybe even if they ever get opportunities, even while they're playing, even before they retire as footballers. And for those who do retire, especially in the future, they could have a job as like a PE teacher and stroke or coach in their local community, so they get involved in like coaching the youth, and also footballers being heroes in Italy. I think that would be pretty cool. So they could talk about like things like good values and things like that. I wonder if Italian players and former players came out against racism and things like that, for instance, or any form of prejudice, or talked about recycling, looking after the environment, or that kind of thing. As like heroes, could they help to change young people in Italy, like and to encourage them to have good values and that kind of thing, good morals, principles, and that sort of thing. I would say if footballers could be like heroes, and I can't think much else to say, but I'd love to see, I'll say, parents and schools, teachers themselves, and the schools themselves, and the curriculum to have at least an hour a day training in football every single day of the year, and as many hours as possible, like even on Christmas, New Year's Day, and that kind of thing. And also for key and core important days in Italian football history, like Italy's Republic Day, Unity Day, and things like that, Liberation Day, and whatnot, and any important days and dates in Italy's calendar. I wonder if they could host events like when there's a celebration of Italy's Republic, which I think is the same as Liberation Day, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the 2nd of June. Maybe Italy could host events bringing all the world's republic. Maybe they could host and work with FIFA to make like a republic. They could perhaps make Mediterranean Republic and stroke or tricolor footballing related events like leagues, even entire leagues, tournaments or tourneys, as I call them, and cups and things like that for Mediterraneans and even republics and even tricolor nations, actually equally so. But yeah, I'd love to know any suggestions you have on how to get Italians to be involved in football as much as possible, like to take pride in their football, and how they can perhaps work with people from the diaspora. I hope anyone who's got an interest in Italian football, or even just got ideas generally, and maybe those from the diaspora could get involved in the comment section and talk about ideas and suggestions. I see ideas as like suggestions, really, potential things that can be worked on. So I suppose ideas and suggestions are probably pretty much the same thing, but yeah, those from the diaspora, how could they be involved and encouraged to get into football? I'd love for my fellow Anglo-Indians and other Eurasians, as I often say, to like share our ideas on how to get more Italians into football and improve Italian football generally. Anyway, I've probably forgotten a few things, but I can't think of anything else right now, so I'm going to wrap this video up. And as I say, please do share any ideas / suggestions or whatever, advice or whatnot, in the comment section. As I say, ideas, suggestions, and advice, I sort of see them as the same sort of thing, I suppose. But do you think there's a difference between those things? I'd love to know that as well. But yeah, so like spaces and places for sport, football to be on the curriculum, teachers, schools themselves, parents, and the wider society in Italy, encouraging people to get into football, people sponsoring pitches, basically, like, as I say, spaces and places for sport, or places and spaces, whichever order you want to put it in, for playing and practicing football, and for Italy to produce the next Zizou, Messi, Ronaldo, or whatnot, or even Pele or Maradona and people like that, and even including migrants into like football, so it could bring all Italian citizens and those from the diaspora together. And I'm out. Peace and love.